Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to today's science class. So we are in chapter 11, it is transportation in animals and plants, and today we are going to discuss the structure and function of human heart. So at the end of today's class, you will be able to describe the structure and function of human heart. So before we start discussing about the structure and function of human heart, let us have a quick recap of the topic which we discussed in our last class. So in the last class we discussed about the blood vessels and its different types. So there are mainly three types of blood vessels, which are arteries, veins and capillaries. And we also studied how they form a network and work in coordination to exchange the materials from the cells, and also how they can take out the unwanted materials out of the cells. So this is the diagram which we studied, and with the help of this diagram we understood how they form the network and how arteries they divide into capillaries, and then again how capillaries they reunite to form veins. So this is the network with which you can understand the uh, functions of arteries, veins and also capillaries. Then let us start today's class now. Okay, so human heart. It is a large muscular pump and is divided into two halves, that is right hand side and left hand side. Now heart is a very important, this is a picture of real human heart. You can see here it has two halves. Now it is mainly divided into two halves. If you draw a line, this is the right half and this is the left half. So we'll discuss the structure in detail in the upcoming slides. So basically it is a muscular pump, large muscular pump that keeps pumping, that keeps working continuously without stopping. So this is a very important organ, so it is considered to be a very vital organ without which no one can survive. So this is human heart. Now about size and location of human heart. Now where it is located and how big is the size of the human heart. So if you clench your hand into a fist, now that is if you just try to hold your hand, and I mean just if you make the hand, as you can see here, it is just like a fist. So the size of the heart is the size of your fist. So this is approximately the same size as your heart. So if you just make a fist like this, then the size of your heart is similar to this fist. And it is located where? It is located in the middle of the chest, almost in the middle of the chest, and the lower part is slightly tilted towards the left. If you can see in the diagram here, the lower part slightly tilted towards the left, but there is a myth that the heart is on the left side of our chest. It is not totally in the left side of our chest, it is almost in the middle of our chest cavity, but the lower part is little bit tilted towards left, and as a result our left lung, the size of the left lung is marginally smaller compared to the right side. This is because of this. So this is the this is about size and also location of the heart in the human body. Next, the structure of the heart. Now we have already discussed that the heart is divided into mainly two parts, right half and left heart, but apart from that it has got uh, two chambers in the upper half and in the lower half. So the left hand side, now let us understand what is done in the left hand side and what is done in the right hand side. The right hand side of the heart is responsible for pumping deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So the right hand side or the right part of the heart is used to pump the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Why deoxygenated blood to the lungs? Because the deoxygenated blood goes to the lungs, and there it gives out carbon dioxide, and then it takes the oxygen from it and it becomes oxygenated blood and again comes back to the heart. We'll study the movement of blood from heart to lungs and from lungs to heart with the help of a flow chart or with the help of a schematic diagram which is there in the upcoming slide. So the left hand side pumps oxygenated blood around the body. So what is the task of right hand side? The task is to take away the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. And what is the work of the left hand side? To pump out the pure blood to all parts of our body. So each side of the heart consists of an atrium and a ventricle. So you can see here the right side, this is the right part. So right side we have one atrium, which is also known as auricle, and also one ventricle, which is known as right ventricle. So right atrium and right ventricle, as they are present on the right side of the heart. Similarly, on the left side we have one atrium, which is known as left atrium, this one, and left ventricle, this one. So these are basically the four chambers, we can say, of the heart, which has their own functions and significance. Okay, so what is the function of heart? The heart is the main organ in the circulatory system, the structure primarily responsible for delivering the circulation of blood and transportation of nutrients in all parts of the body. So we have already discussed how the deoxygenated blood is carried to the lungs, and how the oxygenated blood is carried back to the heart from the lungs, and then it is supplied to rest of the bodies. So its main task is to exchange the to transport the important materials along with oxygen to the cells, and also to carry out the unwanted materials from the cells out of our body. So it generally happens with the help of blood, and we know blood is pumped only with the pumping organ, which is known as heart. So it is again considered to be what? A vital organ. Because of this reason it is considered to be a vital organ, because all the vital functions such as removing carbon dioxide and also pumping blood to all parts of our body depends on the functioning of heart, proper functioning of heart. It's not that only lungs they are responsible for the exchange of gases, it is because of heart as well, because blood is pumped, or the blood moves because of the pumping of heart. So if blood only stops, then how the oxygen and carbon dioxide will be exchanged? So the blood movement of blood or circulation of blood in the body is maintained by the heart. So the heart becomes a very vital organ to for us to survive. Now the circulation of blood, how it takes place, let us understand with the help of a schematic diagram shown in the next slide. So let us see the schematic diagram. Yes, so this is how the blood is circulated with the help of heart. You can see here, this is schematic diagram. Now if you see in the center part, this one, this mainly it signifies, it represents the heart, which is divided into four chambers, that is right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. So let us understand how the deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood flows in the body with the help of heart, and what is the function of lungs here. So first of all the deoxygenated blood, you can see here the blue side is deoxygenated, the blue color signifies deoxygenated blood, and the red color signifies oxygenated blood here. So if you see here, the right side, it contains what? Blue color, that means it contains deoxygenated blood. So all the deoxygenated blood from the body is taken to which part of the heart? The upper chamber, that is right atrium. It enters into the right atrium, and from where it goes to right ventricle, and from right ventricle the deoxygenated blood is carried to the lungs. You can see here, this is the path. So this is how the deoxygenated blood reaches the lungs. So in the lungs it gives out carbon dioxide, and then the pure blood, that is the oxygen rich blood, is again from the lungs, it comes to which part? To the left auricle or left atrium, and from left atrium it goes to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle it goes to rest of the parts of our body with the help of aorta. The part that, or the tissue that brings the deoxygenated blood into the heart is the vena cava, it is known as vena cava, and the part that takes away the pure blood to all parts of the body is known as aorta. This is not aorta, this is aorta. A has been misplaced here, it should be here. So it is aorta. So this is how the circulation of blood takes place in human body. So I hope you have understood this. Please try to draw this schematic diagram once again to have a better understanding about the about the circulation of blood. So this is how blood is circulated in the body. So please try to remember which part contains the oxygenated blood and which part contains deoxygenated blood. Again, once again, I am repeating, there are 4 chambers. First of all, we divide the heart into 2 halves, right half and left half. Right half contains all the deoxygenated blood. Again, and left half contains all the oxygenated blood. And further, we can divide left and right into upper and lower. The upper half is known as atrium and the lower half is known as ventricles. So this is how we can classify the different chambers of human heart. So I hope you have understood. Now let us see what are the questions for today's class. Okay, so these are the questions. Please try to answer these questions. Question number 1, why are different chambers needed in human heart? I hope you got the answer. And how are pulmonary artery different from the aorta? So please try to find the answers of these questions and give it in the Google Classroom. So this will be your home assignment. So please complete your home assignment and submit your answers in the Google Classroom. So that's all for today's class, my dear students. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.